Wema Bank says it has launched a special gender discount loan offering to mark the 2021 International Women's Day. It was launched at a webinar-themed challenge today for an equal tomorrow. The offer includes loans at single-digit interest rates, insurance cover for businesses, and 5 days of training at Wema Bank's SME Business Training School. Joining us to discuss these headlines is Arise business analyst Chika Ndwanu. Chika, welcome back to Lagos. It was great having you in Abuja these last couple of days. I'm fine, sir. Welcome back. Please, can you
let's talk about the
loan restructuring thing? Yeah,
what's out there? Okay, see, the background is that the Nigerian banks really, in the upstream sector, support the Nigerian entrepreneurs and investors who have bought off the marginal fields and other assets that the big IOCs had let go. And so in the promotion of Nigerians owning the oil and gas industry, Nigerian banks supported these investors. Now, so a lot of the borrowing, the lending actually for those assets.
Okay.
And most of them, again, are usually onshore. Most of them are onshore assets. So that's the basis. Now, do recall also before the COVID, actually, the oil prices were already cratering.
Yes.
And so that forced, and then let's say step back. In booking these loans, a lot of the banks, pegged the oil price at a particular price per barrel.
Right.
And on that basis, that's become the threshold for lending. But you see, before COVID, the oil price was already cratering. And subsequently, with COVID, it got worse. But before the COVID, a lot of the Nigerian banks are actually, restructured these loans to make sure that basically giving them longer tenor. Interest still payable, but longer tenor. Because a loan you can pay back in 2 years, you can pay it over 5 years.
Yes.
To adjust for the reduction in oil price. So that's how it happened. So with the COVID coming, they further, gave some, tenor extension. And so that has been in play. Now, so the worst, for example, is over. Now, also that subsequent to COVID, oil prices have moved up to about $60 per barrel.
Yes.
And it means, again, the liquidity has started returning to those loans. And a lot of them have started performing again. So I'm actually saying that, yes, the forbearance was necessary, but it's actually not really now. Because some banks took it off before COVID, and some did it also during COVID. And if there are any vestiges of those remaining, I'm sure that they will take care of that. The banks don't need any encouragement to do that because
right. I was going to ask. That's their bread and butter.
The encouragement is basically to say give them a longer tenure, and for them also. Remember, I talked about in this program that those restructurings what helped to reduce the NPLs in the industry, and hoping that as the economy trudges out from recession, the oil prices move up, and our production volumes move up. Things will get better. But that's not even the real problem there. The real problem for these Nigerian players in that sector is how to move your production, translate your oil price at $60 per barrel into a cash flow. So how to move your production from the oil production site to the shipping point. And whereas militancy has gone, there's still a high level of product thefts, pipe busting, and so on and so forth.
Vandalism,
yeah.
That,
those are the challenges actually faced by these Nigerian players in that industry. And this is what is affecting most of their cash flows. So the issue of solving the issue of vandalism is critical to their being able to pay back their loans. Because most of them are playing onshore.
Security would come at an extra cost as well, right?
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Chika. I want to ask you about this is CBN report from Q4,
the current account.
Current account deficits.
The beautiful thing about the economies is everything just adds up. You never see, the gaps. Remember that we came out from COVID. During COVID, cars were not moving out. The total lockdown, economic activities were standstill.
Yes.
Now, remember also went into recession during COVID. So what do you think will happen after COVID? An independent country.
Right.
The tap was opened. And one of the first line of consumer for FS in the country is what? Petroleum products importation.
Yes.
And so that took a sizable portion of the FX. And also the other goods also, transportation and everything opened up. Remembering also that, remember in recession, and there was a policy to reflect the economy to enable us to get out of recession. So that added up. So the import of what you see in the negative in the capital current account is really what the fact that we're able to come out from recession in Q4 with the 0.11% growth in our GDP.
Yes.
So you can see that. But in CBN doing that also, they must balance it against other sectors of the economy to make sure that no other economy suffers. But the bigger picture for us again is this. When you have that kind of negative current account, it means that your imports are more than your exports. And there goes the root of the problem. We are talking about in this program for this 1 week. How do we expand our non-oil revenues?
Correct.
We thought about it here.
Yes.
Oil revenues, 10% of GDP. Non-oil, 9% of GDP. FX earnings, oil,
much higher.
90%.
Right.
Another one, 10%.
Yeah.
So how do we sweat a non-oil export, non-oil part of our business, our economy, to start producing FX and start contributing to our revenues in the country? And that's basically the challenge that we'll have. And that's the challenge the whole economy faces. And the CBN policies and the fiscal policies all addressing that. But we just have to continue to check the efficacy of these policies, make sure that results are coming out. Because I'm aware that CBN is pushing so much money into all the sectors, whether it's the exporters, whether it's whatever it is.
There's a section of the report where the intervention funds in that report, it is CHIKATARA.
Yeah. There's so many intervention funds.
Airlines are Greek.
You can also now understand, as I say, everything fits in, why CBN is also pushing our diaspora remittances.
Yes.
With the Naira for dollar promotion.
Yes.
Another, collect your money in dollar instead of Naira and go and get the exchange rate, get your Naira, the rate you want to change. All trying to promote, our brothers and sisters abroad to push money and investment down. That's why everything just fits in. So from the negative current account, we came out of recession, but the bigger picture is that we need to expand our non-oil earnings to compensate for the fall in oil prices.
Fantastic. Really, about a minute to go. Your thoughts on Wema Bank and this gender loans?
There are a lot of funds out there for women now. Yeah, but I spoke to the people that have been, I said the major issue again is that with all these platitudes out there, when the ladies go there, the first thing they ask is what's collateral. And the mindset must therefore change, like they do in other lands where we train for credit on issues of cash flow lending. You're lending on the future of the business and then find ways of having alternative collaterals to support this business. Because when you go there and say, give me 30-story building or one building in a VIA and whatever, a lot of people don't have it. So we must create structures to enable them to access these loans, not just the platitudes, in all the way.
Well said, as always. Arise business analyst Chika Chika, thank you so much for joining us, giving us your thoughts there.